napakalaki ang papel at responsibilidad ng ombudsman natin para tuluyang panugutin yung mga taong dapat panugutin at ikulong yung mga taong dapat ikulong. No? So with that, before we continue, let me direct the committee secretary to acknowledge our guest.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. For the briefing on the FY 2026 proposed budget of the Office of the Ombudsman, we would like to acknowledge the Ombudsman, Ombudsman Jesus Crispin Remulla, together with Deputy Ombudsman Dante Vargas, Deputy Ombudsman Cornelio Sumido, Deputy Ombudsman Jose Balmeo Jr., Deputy Ombudsman Anderson Lo, Special Prosecutor Mariflor Punzalan Castillo, Assistant Ombudsman Jose Dominic Lavano IV, and Assistant Ombudsman Luis Gonzaga Bonoan Jr. We have also requested the presence of DBM and COA. For DBM, we have Director Carlos Castro, Ms. Joanne Claire Constantino, and Mr. Ethan Macrae Morales. For COA, we have Attorney Maria Kathleen Villa and Ms. Candy Brigade Crisaldo. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Comsec. So we'll proceed with the budget presentation. And once again, I welcome Ombudsman Remulla to the Senate. And we'll proceed with the budget presentation.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. So, the recommended budget level by the Department of Budget and Management for the Office of the Ombudsman for 2026 is 6,390 million, including automatic appropriations. This is in conformity with the pronouncement of the Constitution and its enabling law, RA 6770 on fiscal autonomy, that the appropriations of the Office of the Ombudsman may not be reduced below the amount appropriated from the previous years. It represents 0.0941% of the national expenditure program of 6.793 trillion. The details of the recommendation with comparative figures for 2025 current budget and 2026 DBM NEP are summarized below. So for personnel services, the recommendation of 3.511 billion 287 million is 355,341 over the 2025 current program, which is 11.26%. For maintenance and other operating expenses, the amount of 2.204 billion 639 million, for a difference of 136,849,000 is 6.62%. For capital outlay, 515,325 million, for an increase of 196,000 pesos is equivalent to 0.04% increase. So for retirement and life insurance premium, 159,158,000 for an increase of 25,869,000 is equivalent to 19.41% increase, for a total of 518,255,000 pesos or 8.83%. For comparative data for 2025 per program activity, for gas, 4.368 billion 508 million, for a difference of 277,914,000 or 6.79% share. For support to operations, 112,817,000 pesos, for a difference of 47,367 or 72.37% share. For anti-corruption investigation program, 899,756,000 pesos, for a difference of 86,664 for 10.66% share. Anti-corruption enforcement program, 752,155,000 or 42,715,000 difference, for a percentage share of 6.02%. For Ombudsman Public Assistance Program, 151,969,000 pesos, for a difference of 60,838 million and 66.76% share. And lastly, for corruption prevention program, 105,204,000 pesos for a difference of 2,757,000 or a percentage share of 2.69%. With regard to the program expenditure classification, may I invite your attention on the screen. So, per expenditure program, the recommended 2026 budget for the OMB with comparative figures from 2024 actual is presented below. So, for 2024, the actual obligations was recorded at 6,058,031,000 pesos. It comprised of regular agency budget of 5.6 billion, automatic appropriations of 5.1 million, and miscellaneous personal benefit funds of 95,517,000, and continuing appropriations of 353,256,000, and for Fund 170, 4,314,000. So the salient features of the DBM recommendations are summarized below. So it consists of the requirements for the filling up of positions in the amount of 1.5 billion, allocation for pension benefits in the amount of 96 million, provision for terminal leave benefit in the amount of 76.2 million, and for retirement gratuity benefits in the amount of 313.412 million. Provision for maintenance and other operating expenses amounting to 2,204,639,000 pesos, including provision for confidential expenses of 51,468,000. Provision in the amount of 45 million for the establishment of additional 3 Ombudsman Assistance Centers to enhance public access to its services. This will provide streamlined frontline service, including assisting walk-in clients with the filing of complaints, submission of SALN and networks, and processing of Ombudsman clearance. Allocation for agencies ICT in the total amount of 568,735,000 pesos. For MOA, 298 million, and CO 437 million to support its IT systems and infrastructure modernization initiatives, such as continuing upgrade of its case management system and supply and asset management system, establishment of cybersecurity center and procurement of storage area network for digitized OMB records, among others. Allocation for other capital outlay requirements in the total amount of 171,888,000 pesos, broken down as follows. An amount of 36,130,000 pesos for the acquisition of 10 units of passenger vans for use of various OMB offices. An amount of 135,758,000 has been retained for the continued upgrade and of depreciated office equipment, furniture, and fixtures. So, moving on po dun sa part 4, yung other relevant information to help the committee in the deliberations of the fiscal year 2026 proposed budget. So, requested additional funding, lump sum fund of 36,173,000 pesos for the creation of casual position for the implementation of digitization of prior year's records of the OMB to preserve essential documents from degradation and to allow easy access in the retrieval of records. This would also reduce the cost of physical storage of files and at the same time would enhance data protection, security, and control. The breakdown of which is as follows. 61 positions with salary grade 3 requiring 18 million and 61 positions with salary grade 2 requiring 17 million for a total of 36,173,000 pesos. Number 2, so requested additional funding for lump sum fund of 160,163,000 pesos 46 additional Ombudsman Assistance Centers with the following details. So for PS, 21,777,000. For MOOE, the amount of 108,836,000. And for capital outlay, the amount of 30 million, for a total of 160,163,000 pesos. Lump sum fund of 83,664,000 for the provision of rental for office spaces of OMB Luzon and OMB Mindanao. So, and Moleo pala. Sorry po. So, the total requested additional funding of 280 million pesos, if approved, will increase the OMB's budget for 2026 by 13.59% as compared to the current level of 5,872 million. So, requested special provisions for organizational structure. So notwithstanding any provision of law to the contrary and within the limits of appropriations in this act, the Ombudsman is hereby authorized to formulate and implement Office of the Ombudsman's organizational structure, fix and determine the salaries, allowances, and other benefits of personnel of the Office of the Ombudsman in accordance with the rates and levels authorized under RA number 6758 as amended and RA number 6686 as amended, and create new position, transfer an item, or make other adjustments in the personal services itemization whenever public interests are required. Implementation of the foregoing shall be subject to compliance with organization, staffing, and position classification and compensation standards of the DBM, scrap and build policy, and submission to DBM of a resolution stating the changes in the organization and staffing in accordance with the foregoing standards and policy for proper documentation. The officials and employees whose positions are affected by a reorganization shall be granted retirement benefits or separation pay in accordance with the existing laws, which shall be payable from any unexpended balance of or savings in the appropriations of the Office of the Ombudsman. Use of savings. So the Ombudsman is authorized to use savings from the appropriations of the Office of the Ombudsman to augment actual deficiencies in any item of its appropriations for the current year, which may include the following purposes: printing and or publications of decisions, resolutions, and training information materials, repair, maintenance, and improvement of central and regional offices, facilities, and equipment, purchase of equipment, books, journals, and periodicals, necessary expenses for the employment of temporary, contractual, and casual employees, and payment of extraordinary and miscellaneous expenses, representation and transportation allowances, and other authorized benefits of its officials and employees, subject to pertinent budgeting, accounting, and auditing rules and regulations. Use of income. The Office of the Ombudsman may use the income generated from fees collected by it, subject to the conditions under pertinent sections in the general provisions of this Act, and for purposes as may be specifically authorized therein or by applicable provision of law. Payment of retirement benefits and pension. The Ombudsman and her deputies, the special prosecutor, shall after 30 days following the date of retirement shall receive a monthly pension pursuant to the amounts appropriated for payment of pensions under Section 3 of RA 11059. Release of payment of retirement benefits and pension. Appropriations authorized for the payment of retirement benefits and pensions of the Office of the Ombudsman and his or her deputies, the special prosecutor, and all qualified officials and employees of the Office of the Ombudsman with salary grade 26 to 29 covered under Section 2 of RA number 11059, Retirement Law of the Office of the Ombudsman, shall be released directly to the Office of the Ombudsman, subject to the computation and conditions prescribed in applicable retirement laws, rules, and regulations. That's all po. Thank you po.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Christopher Lim. Nasabi ko kanina, Ombudsman, that marami sa ginagawa ng DOJ, marami sa ginagawa ng ICI because fact-finding sila. Eventually, babagsak rin sila sa Ombudsman. No? And alam mo naman kung anong sentiment ng taong bayan ngayon towards corruption, towards itong mga flood control. At ako nga, pag na-interview ako ngayon, wala nang good news eh. Hindi na ako tinatanong tungkol kung maganda yung ekonomiya, may investors papasok, lahat about corruption. So yan ang general sentiment ng taong bayan. At gusto rin ng accountability. No? Dapat panagutin yung dapat managot. Bilang bagong ombudsman, ano ba yung mga plano natin to address itong mga flood control issues? Especially pag papasok na ito sa ombudsman, ano pa ang ating strategy para panagutin at ikulong yung dapat makulong ng mga tiwaling opisyal?
Mr. Chairman, ang opisina po ng Ombudsman ngayon ay binabago po namin ang sistema sa paghawak ng kaso mula po sa filing sa pagdala sa amin ng kaso hanggat ito ay mapunta namin, madala namin sa Sandigan Bayan o sa RTC. At binabago ho namin yung mga deadlines at yung mga dapat po na panahon na magugugol sa bawat stage ng evaluation, preliminary investigation, and fact-finding, evaluation, fact-finding, preliminary investigation, at yung litigation proper sa pagdating po sa Sandigan Bayan o sa RTC. Kung dati po ay umaabot ng 1 taon, anin na buwan hanggang 1 taon ang preliminary investigation, ngayon po ang ginigiit ko po ay gawin na namin within 60 days. Yan po yung aming ginawa sa DOJ dati at tingin ko pwede hong gawin dito. Pagdating po sa fact-finding, ganoon din po. Pag nag-file po ang isang ahensya na certified na po yung mga dokumento at ang ebidensya po itatayo na sa korte sa unang tingin namin sa evaluation, ito po dinidiretso na namin ng preliminary investigation. Wala na hong fact-finding yan. At case build-up niyan ay sa fact-finding, dito na lang ako sa PI, bago ho PI, baka magdagdag lang ho kami ng ilang araw para po maikompleto namin ang ebidensya na kinakailangan. Kaya dito po, ang sinasabi ko lagi, and as I always say, the deadline is always yesterday. Yun po yung aming parang pinaka-theme ng action plan namin sa DOJ. Ganun din po rito sa Ombudsman. Kasi nga, itong problema ho ng korupsyon, hindi ho ito ngayon lang. Matagal na ho itong pinaiinisan ng taong bayan at talagang nagagalit na po ang taong bayan dito. Matagal na ho ito. Ngunit ngayon lang po pumutok na ganito kasama ang imahe ng gobyerno dahil po sa mga pangyayari sa flood control. Kaya ang plano ho rito talaga ay pabilisin ang lahat ng proseso at gawing kumpleto. Itinataas pa namin ang modicum of proof. Ang sinasabi po dyan ay probable cause. Pero dito po, gusto namin prima facie na reasonable certainty of conviction bago po kami mag-file ng kaso sa Sandigan Bayan o sa RTC. Kaya ang isa pa po rito na napagkasunduan namin at gumagawa na po ng bagong patakaran ang Sandigan Bayan ay continuous trial ang aming hihingin sa lahat ng kaso. Basta't nakompleto ho namin ng ebidensya na i-file namin doon, ready to litigate po kami at ready ho kaming ipresenta ang ebidensya. Yun po yung pinakamahalaga. Matapos po namin mapresenta ang ebidensya kagad sa Sandigan Bayan. At tuloy ay maiwasan na rin natin yung mga pagdidelay, yung pagpapatagal ng kaso na ginagawa po ng magagaling na abogado. Ito po yung aming pinakikiusap sa judiciary. Kasi nga ang laki na ho nang nawawala sa gobyerno natin sa tinatawag ng inordinate delay in the adjudication of cases. So yun po yun. The urgency is there, Mr. Chairman. And we feel the weight of the anger of the Filipino people And they're looking to the office to be able to solve this crisis of gigantic proportions within the country.
At totoo lang, Ombudsman Remulla, nung na-appoint ka sa Ombudsman, the attention ngayon ay nasa Ombudsman na. No? Kasi ang tingin namin, no? Ako bilang isang citizen of our beloved country, na it's about time to start filing cases and prosecute. No? Kasi ilang buwan na rin natin pinag-uusapan to, ilang buwan na rin lumalabas dito sa Senado, nagka-hearing kami, and then sa ICI. To connect this to our budget hearing, I remember last time, during the budget hearing of your predecessor, ang sabi niya dito, actually ako nagtanong to, lumabas rin during the hearing, na it takes 2 years, 2 to 3 years, between 2 to 3 years to file a case, no? Pag 2 to 3 years, wala na tayong pasensya na yan. Ako, wala na akong pasensya, to be honest about it. Lalo na with this flood control, hindi na yata ako makakaantay ng 2 to 3 years, no? Dahil kagaya ng sinabi niyo, gusto natin kahapon pa may na-file na case na, no? Kahapon mayroon na panagot. So, base sa mga sinabi niyo, aabot pa ba tayo ng 2 to 3 years to see something significant na mangyayari from the Ombudsman?
Hindi na po tayo aabot sa ganung kahaba. Ang kagandahan lang po ngayon, dahil nga sa naging krisis na to, mas iniisip natin kung gaano natin mapapabilis ang mga kaso. At katulad nga niyan, na-transmit na po sa DOJ yung kanilang final sa amin at na-deputize na po sila na ituloy na yung mga kaso sa RTC. Sapagkat ang mga testigo na nandito sa Senado na kanilang nakausap na, ang mga ebidensya na kinakailangan ay naroon na, ay hindi na ho kailangan aralin pa ng Office of the Ombudsman para magtawag na naman ng testigo. Ito po, dire-diretso na po ito at ipa-file na po yan ng DOJ at the latest siguro niya Monday kasi kompleto na po ang kaso. Kompleto na po yan. Iyon po yung 5 ghost projects na flood control projects. 5 ho yun na flood control projects. Tapos dito po ngayon sa aming opisina, talagang tuloy-tuloy pong pag-uusap namin dito na talagang bilisan ng proseso at dapat kompleto ang ebidensya. Hindi ho pa pwede na. Ano nga ho ito eh? Sabay-sabay po ang mga reforma na kinakailangan. Yung isa pong nabanggit ko na nung isang araw sa mga kausap ko, yung digitization. Kasi nga, hindi pa po moderno ang sistema ngayon sa aming opisina. Ito po yung aming minamadali rin po. At meron naman pong budget na nakalaan dyan. At kung nangangailangan po ay lalagay po namin yung mga savings ng aming ahensya para po maggamit at matapos kagad ang digitization process ng opisina po.
Ombudsman, I know, in fairness to you, hindi mo ito budget, no? Because you came in very late na. In fact, nagawa na yung NEP, nasabit na yung budget dito sa Senado. So wala ka talagang say, no? Or wala kang naging say dito sa budget. Meron ba kayong gustong ma-improve dito sa budget para matulungan namin kayo? Mapabilis pa itong ginagawa niyong investigation at pagfa-file ng cases. Ako kasi on my own, I want to help the Ombudsman, no, to be effective. Dahil hindi naman kami mag-iimbestiga o hindi naman kami magfa-file ng case, kayo eh. Ang maitutulong namin sa inyo ay mabigyan kayo ng resources para mapabilis yung inyong trabaho. Dahil kung mapabilis yung inyong trabaho, panalo rin yan sa amin, no? At panalo rin sa ating bansa. Meron ba kayong nakikita dito sa budget? Aside from sinabi kanina ni Director Lim na for digitization and also for itong Ombudsman Assistance Centers, meron ba kayong nakikita anything that we can do in order to support your mission of mabilis na investigation and filing of cases?
Marahil yung special provisions no nabanggit ko sa inyo kanina nung hindi pa ho tayo hindi pa ho nagaganap itong pandinig. Yun po yung mga kailangan namin para mas streamline po yung operations ng opisina po.
In terms of resources, Meron ba kayong nakikita? Kung wala naman, pag hindi naman ngayon, you can just submit to us, no? Kung meron kayong naiisip. Ang chain of thought ko naman is, paano natin matutulungan ang ombudsman para maka-file ka agad, no? I understand that, of course, bago kayo, you're organizing the office, but itong gravity kasi nung kaso, no? We're talking about kung yung kung take natin into consideration in na-discover ni Secretary Vince, 421 ghost projects. No, yung pa lang yung na-discover, hindi pa natin nakikita yung mga substandard, hindi pa natin nakikita yung mga sa iba pang mga projects like farm to market roads. So enormity, yung inlaki, no? At yung daming taong nasangkot ay kakailanganin talaga natin na maraming sabay-sabay na taong gumagalaw, no? And para mabilis yung trabaho kasi kung iisa-isahin natin, abutin talaga tayo ng matagal, no? So that's where I'm coming from, no? Kasi alam ko hindi niyo ginawa itong budget and I want to in my own way, in my own small way, no? I want to help the ombudsman file the cases as fast as it can, no? Kung wala kayong naisip ngayon, you can just submit to us. But if you have, we can discuss it para matulungan namin kayo.
Salamat.
And then nasabi nyo kanina, ombudsman, na after nito sa judiciary na, no? And I naniniwala ako na half the battle na sa judiciary, no? Dahil kahit na napakaganda yung kaso natin, kahit na nag-imbestiga kami dito sa Senado, marami kami nakikitang mga ebidensya, turn over namin sa inyo. Pero ang gera nasa judiciary. May ginagawa ba ang ombudsman to coordinate with the judiciary and to also makasama natin sila dito sa laban against corruption?
Meron po tayong open lines naman sa, of course, kausap na natin ng Sandigan Bayan, ang presiding justice ng Sandigan Bayan, tungkol po sa mga proseso na kinakailangan pabilisin. At ganoon din po yung aking hinihiling sa isang kaibigan natin sa Korte Suprema, si Senior Associate Justice Marvic Leonen, na baka kailangan po namin ng special courts para po sa RTC, yung draft court ho talaga ng RTC, para wala na hong ping-pong, wala na hong pasahan ng jurisdiction. Pagka mayroon ho tayong special court sa RTC, ay malamang po mas mabilis po ang pagdinig ng mga kaso. At ganun lang po naman ang kinakailangan. Talaga may contact po, ang institutional contact, ang ombudsman, tsaka yung mga judiciary officials. Yun po yung pinakamahalaga para sa amin ngayon.
Thank you for those. And just to go to specifics, but I will not go into the detail. May mga na-file, nasabi nyo kanina may 5 nang na-file sa ombudsman ng mga kaso. May ini-expect pa ba tayong maifa-file in the next maybe 7 to 14 days, next 2 weeks? At after na-file sa inyo itong 5 kaso, kailan naman ang ini-expect natin ma-file to sa Sandigan?
Yung mga final po sa amin ng ICI tsaka ng DPWH na magkasama, yun po yung susunod at yun doon po maisirin po yung proseso. Ang tingin namin kasi maganda na ho yung mga ebidensya ng dokumento na nakadikit po sa complaint. Kaya kaunting evaluation lang po yan. O hindi na evaluation. Tutuloy na po kami sa PI dyan pagka nakita po namin na o kaya sa fact-finding magdadagdag lang kami ng konti pa para ho maging saradong-sarado ang kaso. Para pag-file po namin, pagka-direct po ng PI, sasagot na lang po yung kabila tapos joinder of issues. Mga 2 weeks para ang PI po namin 60 days ang binibigay namin ang panahon at sana po within 30 days baka meron na hong ma-file sa Sandigan Bayan, posible po yan.
Thank you for that, Ombudsman. I'll go to some specifics sa inyong budget. Nakita ko na meron tayong budget for yung tinatawag nating Ombudsman Assistant Centers, no? About 45 million. Actually, ngayon ko lang laman na mayroon palang ganitong service na ino-offer ang Ombudsman to our constituents. So ang plano is to open additional 3. No? Ano po itong serbisyong ino-offer natin sa mga Ombudsman Assistance Center? So ngayon ilan na ho tayo, Deputy Ombudsman?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. I think we have 6 right now.
6. Oo. Ngayon
Yes.
ko lang nalaman to, and then we're planning to open 3 more.
Opo.
So 9 na in total.
Yes po.
Oo.
Yung services that the assistance centers are providing would be receipt of complaints, receipt of SAL-ins, and other requests for assistance, sir. These are situated mostly at City Mall, which are provided rent-free by the Double Dragon Corporation, sir.
Okay. So my partnership with Double Dragon.
Yes, sir. And we intend to expand more, probably in other regions, that we could reach out to more people.
Okay. Ano yung, so itong for example, may mga constituents tayo na gusto mag-file ng mga complaints, pwede na sila pumunta dito sa mga OACs.
Yes, sir. If the complaints are already, so to speak, 100% okay na po, if they can easily be assessed by the assistance centers. And in fact, to be honest with you, sir, the assistance centers are now manned by non-lawyers. They're just admin staff. We intend and we propose that we assign permanent lawyers in these assistance centers to be more effective in handling complaints and advices to the people.
So parang nagiging receiving lang siya ngayon.
Yes po, yes po.
Oo. But ang plano next time is meron na.
Yes, lawyers po.
Oo.
And we intend, sir, that lawyers, permanent lawyers in the office who are willing to be reassigned or relocate would be assigned in these assistance centers.
Okay. And I understand you're opening, tama ba? Rojas City, Sulu, Zamboanga, and Pasay?
We already have one in Sulu. We have
Okay.
one in Pasay. We have one in Zamboanga already, sir.
Okay, okay. Maganda ito dahil we're bringing Ombudsman close to the people eh. No, especially yung mga corruption, corruption di naman limited to Metro Manila lang, no? I'm sure marami rin tayong nakikita sa iba't ibang parte ng ating bansa. So magandang meron silang pwedeng puntahan, no? Rather than pupunta pa sila all the way to Metro Manila.
Yes, sir. And we also accept applications for clearances in
Okay.
those areas so that we could service the other government employees po na nandun. They don't have to go to Manila or Cebu or Mindanao.
Okay, all right. And then there's a request for 45 million to expand it, no? To put 3 more.
In the event, Your Honor, that we will not be able to secure rent-free spaces, that's our proposal to
Okay.
perhaps either establish our own building or space or rent such spaces, Your Honor.
And there's also there's also in the budget 568 million for IT. No? This is for case management, supply and asset management, and establishment of cybersecurity. I know ang mga offices katulad ng Ombudsman, Judiciary, tambak ng papel yan eh. No? Kailangan talaga everything is as much as possible paperless na. So Judiciary, ganun rin ang kanilang, I saw in their budget, ang laki ng investment nila on IT. Kasi ang track nila is to go paperless as much as possible. No? So can we have some description on this IT project? Itong 568 million.
Sir, Mr. Chair, we are proposing for the upgrade of our cabling system, the what's this? Wide data storage system for digitized documents in line with the program of our new ombudsman to digitize and go paperless, Your Honor. And these are also likewise in the improvement or proposed putting up of a cyber lab for the office so that our lawyers, our investigators will be apprised of the new technology, Your Honor.
Yeah, important yung I think an important program is the digitization para
I-
paperless na talaga.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. Kasi paper takes up space rin eh.
Yes,
And
actually,
space is expensive.
that is one of our problems, Your Honor. That's why in the previous budget hearings, we were asking for some budget so that we could perhaps rent an office space or a warehouse where we could put up the volume of documents that we have now on the central office, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Ombudsman.
In the light of the digitization stage that we want to undergo, probably we will also seek tax experts in artificial intelligence to help us process information faster. Because of the volume of documents that we have, the volume of transactions, we may have to go AI, and we're just having a consultant give us the advice very soon, so that we may be able to request that matter with the Senate, with the Finance Committee, sir.
That's a very good idea. In fact, kami dito sa Senate, we're using yung off-the-shelf lang naman, no? Open AI to read to help us analyze the reports, give us summaries. Kasi ibang mga reports na kukuha namin, ang kakapal, it takes time, no? So I think in the same manner, sa inyo mas grabe rin, no? So the use of AI, particularly in your field, nakikita ko necessity na ngayon from now and in the next few years. And the technology is getting very sophisticated. Meron ng AI for medical, may AI na for lawyers, may AI for very specific industries. So I'm sure in your field, meron rin ganun na technology. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I think that it's a good opportunity to start using technology to combat corruption, because the widespread scope of corruption is just there throughout the whole country, and artificial intelligence can shorten the chase or just cut the chase, so to speak, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that, Ombudsman. I also saw in your budget there is a amount for training and scholarship expenses. It's quite substantial, about 178 million for 2026 proposed. May I know the details of this account?
Sir,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, when we were briefed about when I was briefed by the Deputy Ombudsman and the Special Prosecutor 2 weeks ago, it came to the discussion that the training programs of the Ombudsman's office will have to be done with local resources, because we used to be trained through the funding of the U.S. government and other multilateral organizations. But this time we have to go all local, and we did this for cybercrime and other modernization knowledge of the digital landscape, because of the corruption issues involved there also, sir. And we may need these cybercrime experts to come in to broaden the scope of the knowledge of our investigators and our litigators, sir.
Training for the personnel of Ombudsman, yung mga tao natin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And typically, what aside from cybercrime, what other trainings are
Sir,
you looking at?
the most modern investigation techniques and tools that may be needed to be able to combat like in money laundering and other understanding of money laundering techniques, like the alternative currencies being used now to launder money, sir.
And why is there a change in policy that the US, that the foreign funded? I agree with you. In fact, philosophy ko nga ngayon while reviewing the budget, yung mga trainings, mga subsidies, even mga scholarships, dapat locally funded. Dapat tayo nagpopondo nun kasi kaya naman natin. No? Rather than borrow, kahit na foreign funded yan, borrowing pa rin, utang pa rin. No? So, why is there a shift in policy?
I think, sir, that when President Trump came into office, he decided to cut the subsidies to many programs and projects of their government directed at other countries. And even in the United Nations, Mr. Chairman, in the UN Office of Drugs and Crime, the subsidy has gone down tremendously. And it's a problem that they were facing when I was there last March, when I was talking to the Office of Drugs and Crime in Vienna. So,
It also affected yung mga binibigay nila ng mga grant and ganitong training support.
yes, sir. We were very much affected by that.
Okay. But definitely we have the resources to support the Ombudsman and the other offices. No? Sabi ko, kung meron silang mga training requirements, we can support it with our own funds. And mas maganda kung tayo kasi tayo naman nakikinabang doon. No?
Yes, sir. We have also are reaching out to the LGUs to train them about anti-corruption measures so that the systems being adopted by them in dealing with the business of governance will be more transparent, sir. So hopefully these training programs will come into play and make a significant impact in the way the local governments run also, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ombudsman. Meron din kayong you also have an advocacy on preventing corruption. And I think part of the advocacy is also making people understand accountability, integrity, and all among us public servants, no, from barangay captain all the way hanggang sa pinakamataas hanggang senador. Itong advocacy ninyo, can you give us a description on that advocacy?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The
Itong,
office,
Deputy Ombudsman, it's called the Corruption Prevention Program.
yes.
No, to a tune of 102 million. And there's a sub-program there called Development and Implementation of Integrity Promotion Programs to generate a critical mass of anti-corruption advocates in the campaign against official abuse. No, and this is a good program. I think like yung dala sabihin, prevention is better than cure. No, if we can have a program to awaken integrity, awaken accountability, and even people should appreciate that the penalties involved might cost them their future. Mas maganda yun para hindi na sila sumubok pa. No? But can I have a description of this program?
Yes po. We conduct corruption seminars for LGUs and for other sectors, other agencies in government. We have a special module program for armed personnel, for police, for those agencies. And basically, sir, we go to these provinces, we go to these agencies, we conduct a 3 or 2 day seminars so that they will be aware of what the corruption really is. Because a lot of people in government are not even aware that they're doing something which is corrupt. So we let them know this is corrupt. And in line with that, Your Honor, we also have a program that we educate the children, high school students. We bring them to the office. We give them seminars on anti-corruption because we believe, Your Honor, that habang bata pa po, alam na nila, they would grow na aware and do know what to do and what not to do. And that's part of the program that anti-corruption program that we have in the office, Your Honor.
To go to parang school tours or ma-enlighten yung mga estudyante about not only fighting corruption but also promoting integrity.
Yes, Your Honor. It's called CIC, Crusades in Corruption. We bring these students, we invite students who are from different public schools, sir. We bring them to the office, we conduct seminars, and then later on we give them certificates so that they too would be proud that they were part of the corruption awareness program of the Office of the Ombudsman, which we believe they can, what do you call this, relate to their parents, to their elders, to their relatives that, you know, this is corruption. And this is not, this is being taught to us that we should not do this because this is wrong. At an early age, they will be made aware of what not to do and what to do. And how, if ever they find something, they may act as whistleblowers, so to speak, Your Honor, for if they may find something that is illegal in their respective areas, they can provide us the information, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Ombudsman. Meron akong nakitang study, no? It's called the Corruption Perceptions Index. We'll show the slide. Perla, can you show the slide? So, among the ASEAN countries, tayo pinaka mababa, no? 114 ang score natin. The one being the highest, of obviously Singapore, one of the highest. Tayo ay nasa 114 among the advanced ASEAN countries. We've been flat for the last 3 years, but I'm assuming itong 114 will probably collapse, no, because of what's happening right now. So it's a challenge for all of us. I'm not only challenging Ombudsman, but it's also a challenge for the Senate, challenge for other public servants to improve the perception of corruption on our country. So with the new leader in the Ombudsman and the primary corruption fighter of our country, anong nakikita nyo, Ombudsman? How do we improve the corruption perception of our country? How do we improve these scores? And hopefully we can, sana ma-break natin 100, no? Para mag-improve naman yung ating standing in the world. In fact, if you look at Vietnam, mas mababa pa tayo sa Vietnam, no? So in your opinion and analysis, how can we improve the perception of corruption of our country?
Sir, I think that the way that we should run this office is to be transparent and reachable to all. It should be, people should have access to the office of the Ombudsman. I believe also that we should handle public interest cases where the Filipinos as consumers are being given a raw deal by utility companies that are monopolies in nature and abuse practices and have abusive practices such as telcos, data providers, water utility providers, electricity providers, so that people know that they have a right to a better service than that being given, and we intend to clamp down on regulators, sir, given this. So they can see that corruption happens not only in local government offices or in national offices, but it happens also to regulatory agencies that have the responsibility to uplift the lives of Filipinos. I think that is one of the things that has not been neglected in the mandate of the Ombudsman that we intend to tap, Mr. Chairman. And I believe that it will improve our perception of how government can function better.
I was reading the Ombudsman law. Even red tape is part of the mandate of Ombudsman, no? And red tape for me is one of the biggest roadblocks why we as a country is not progressing. Hindi natin, imbis na padaliin natin yung buhay ng mga negosyante natin, mas pinahihirapan natin with whether intentionally or unintentionally, pinahihirapan natin. No, meron nga akong isang example na parating ginagamit. Meron tayong dito sa bansa natin, kung hindi ka kasali, meron kang dapat na kunin na certification of parang certification of parang non inclusive or hindi ka kasali doon, no? Hindi ka na nga kasali pero dapat kumuha ka pa ng certification na hindi ka kasali, no? So it defeats the purpose of eliminating red tape, no? So and I discovered in my readings that red tape is also part of the mandate of the Ombudsman. And before I recognize the Secretary, let me acknowledge Senator Lauren Legarda.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to greet and congratulate our longtime friend and a very honest and dedicated public servant, the new Ombudsman, former Justice Secretary, and of course the Ombudsman family. I don't recall kung sino po ang bago, sino ang luma, but I used to handle this budget. And do I have the time to ask now, or you're asking?
I'm wrapping up, ma'am.
You're wrapping up.
I'm
Sige,
wrapping up
sure.
na.
My question will just be on the environmental ombudsman, which was there before. That's my concern lang. But after you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, I'll wrap up lang, ma'am. Yung sa red tape, no? So that's also one thing, Ombudsman, that we need to look at. Meron tayong anti-red tape authority. But the anti-red tape authority is, I know that they suggest, they also analyze what needs to be done, but in prosecute rest with the Ombudsman. And I think that's also one thing that we need to look at, no? Yung red tape, yan ang pumapatay sa negosyo, no?
Yes, sir. As we actually last week within this week, I think Tuesday, we met with the Philippine Competition Commission because of the problems that adhere to the mandate of the Philippine Competition Commission, so we can support each other, and we will do the same thing with the ARTA, so that they can be able to inform us of things that we have to move within the borders of government, that to make things move. And the problem with actually one of the things that has to be done, that anti-red tape has done a lot of research on, is the ease of doing business. And the finger pointing that happens is really tremendous, Mr. Chairman. An example would be cell sites and data transmission sites of utilities, where they always point to the barangay or to the municipality as not giving permits. This has to end, Mr. Chairman. I think that we have to put everybody in stride and be on the same page, so to speak, Mr. Speaker.
In terms
Mr.
of
Chair.
laws, Ombudsman, meron pa ba tayong kulang ng mga batas in terms of fighting corruption? O sobra na nating daming batas na hindi lang na-implement o hindi lang na-enforce?
Kulang po sa prosecution.
Kulang sa prosecution. Marami na tayong batas.
Marami ho tayong batas. Meron hong pwede idagdag. Kaya lang sa dami ng batas natin, kaya natin punuin lahat ng kulungan kung talagang ipoprosecute natin lahat.
Right. Thank you, Ombudsman. Ma'am, I'm okay na ako with my questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm happy to note that the new ombudsman has announced, please correct me if this is accurate, the re-establishment of the environmental ombudsman, which was there before. I think former Secretary Remulla knows me quite well, that the environment is one of my core advocacies since 1998. And one of the most important laws is the Republic Act 9003. You were a local government official before. Yan ang nagdudulot ng health problems, flooding concerns, yung pagtatapon ng basura sa open dumps. Yeah. So the Ecological Solid Waste Management Law, if implemented, I don't know if you would agree, would really ease a lot of the flooding problems, the health problems, and just to make our environment cleaner and greener. But even if the law was enacted 2001, only less than 1/4 of LGUs are complying, because, as you yourself said, it's really how the laws are implemented. May I know, sir, whether the environmental ombudsman, as you had recently announced, if I'm correct, will ensure that local governments comply with environmental laws, especially and including the ecological solid waste management law. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I'm very familiar with the way local governments run their budgets and run down the environment by just thinking about hauling the garbage out and not thinking about where it's brought and what's done with it. I think that has to stop. Because they have the mandate for it, they should be responsible. If they seek the office, they should be responsible for the garbage in their areas. So the environmental ombudsman will come in very soon, Madam Chair. And not only for solid waste management, which is a major problem, of course, which is also related to flood control. But we also need that for illegal reclamation, for deforestation, for a lot of other environmental crimes that happen, oil spills. We have to be able to address these problems face to face and not back down from any challenge. And that is really a big challenge right now, as we have slowed down with even the basic garbage separation in the communities is not happening anymore. No, people are no longer sorting out their garbage, so they throw it one day and the other one another day. This has to stop. We will have to come up with the rules to be followed by local government, and that we will do baselines so that to make people comply, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. With the permission of the chair, and I hope the ombudsman will not mind if I can kindly write a memo of how we did it. This was a time, not to compare, of former ombudsman Conchito Carpio Morales when she had an environmental ombudsman. And if I may mention, he just happened to be your relative, but it's got nothing to do with your relation. It was a project of a Magsaysay awardee whose birthday is today, my good friend, Attorney Tony Oposa. He urged me, sabi niya, Lauren, yung mga batas mo ang gaganda, hindi naman pinapansin. Laws are only suggestions and recommendations in this country, but people don't follow. And so, ang ginawa po namin, we lobbied. And buti na lang, I was the chair of that budget at that time for an environmental ombudsman, and nagtalaga naman, but I'm not sure if it was a permanent office or parang job order or contract for service. Hindi ko alam kung may plantilla position for that. And then we wrote all local governments and their compliance with RA 9003 and all the other environmental laws. You're correct, and I'm grateful that you had acknowledged that it's not just the garbage problem and the segregation of garbage at source, recycling and composting, because if it can be done, even in just one barangay in the whole country, why can't the 42,000 other barangays do it? And if I may, in my little barangay in Nyogan, in your province, I was able to do it at the time when there was a kapitan na stricto. At yung Mother Earth Foundation ni Sonia Mendoza, an elderly lady but a chemist who's very passionate about segregation, 6 months silang tumira dun at binahay-bahay, tinuruan. Naging Clean and Green awardee po ang Nyogan ng Cavite. It's part of Tagaytay. And in Potrero, in Malabon, ganun din ang ganyan. That's where I was born. Informal settlers, but I was challenged na sabi ko, anong itsura kong senador, ang sarili kong barangay, ay marumi. So nanalo rin ng Clean and Green. So kaya naman po. It's really just the implementation. And I'm glad to know that yun nga, sana yung issues rin ng deforestation or illegal logging kung meron man. At isa pong hihilingin ko, kakahiring lang natin sa DNR sa protected areas. We have over 121 protected areas in our country. Terrestrial, marine, and maybe we should be stricter in the implementation of our laws in protected areas. Ito yung mga watersheds, ito yung ang ating karagatan, puro plastic na lang, puro na lang. Basta, my frustration, I'm sure alam ninyo po. So, if we can just reinstate and be really strict about it, that's our wealth as a nation. I don't have to preach to the crowd because I'm sure you know what I mean. So I would be happy if the ombudsman can reinstate an environmental ombudsman, and I can work very closely with all the laws that we've authored in the past 25 years in the Senate. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I will be appointing a deputy ombudsman for the environment, dedicated to the cause of the environment, under my office, so that I will be the signatory if needed, with the different acts or suspensions or whatever is needed to make people obey the law. Because this is not rocket science, ma'am. It's just a law that has to be obeyed. And of course, one other concern that we have is the Clean Air Act. The emission centers, that which are not doing their jobs, has become a racket. And it's so sad when I go to Baguio and I see the diesel fumes just spilling it out in the streets, and the smell of diesel permeating the air, and nothing has been done about it. But I think that we have to go back to the basics. We have the Clean Air Act, we have the LTO, we have the emission centers, but they don't work at all. It's something that has to start again. It has to be restarted for us, as it has been a failure through these years.
You're correct, the Clean Air Act, laganap na yung mga balita, matagal na yung mga emission centers, hindi ko po linalahat, iba ay nagbibigay lang ng sertifikasyon, nakapasa, pero pwedeng bayaran na hindi naman tinetest. Kaya nga ang kalidad ng hangin na iniinom natin ay nalalanghap natin ay ganun na lang. So we have the clean air, we have the clean water, the solid waste management, and the INIPAS law, the protected areas. So I'd like to work closely with whoever you will appoint, if you may, because having been here for a long time and being the author of more than 10 environmental laws, we would be so happy to see these laws implemented, not to scare local governments, not to kulong anyone or to file cases, but really to just really encourage everyone. It's not rocket science, as you said. Talagang kailangan lang ipatupad. Yeah. Thank you. Of course, support the budget of the Ombudsman. I have no more questions, but I will listen. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I don't have any more questions, ma'am. And Ombudsman, I know that bago kayo sa Ombudsman, pero hindi naman kayo bago sa paglaban sa korupsyon. Kikita namin even during your stint sa DOJ na very determined kayo na labanan ng korupsyon. Kami rin dito sa Senado, yan rin ang aming determinasyon, mapanagot ang mga taong sangkot dito sa flood control issue. At kung kailangan may makulong, kailangan talagang ikulong. At isa rin sa aming direksyon ngayon, suportahan yung mga ahensya na may responsibilidad na panugutin itong mga taong to. Ganun rin sinabi namin sa DOJ, ganun rin sinabi namin sa judiciary, at ngayon ganun rin yung sasabihin namin sa Ombudsman. Kaya magtulungan tayo para maiayos natin yung ating bansa. So with that, yes.
I join you there regarding flood control, but as we would see in this week's hearing, nakakashock. Pati yung overpricing po ng iba't ibang ahensya ng gobyerno, nagugulat na lang kami, sinusuri namin yung budget by the hundreds of millions and billions, kinocompute namin yung retail price, tapos yung presyo ng gobyerno. I just really want to know, maybe the Ombudsman can help us. I don't know, what will the ICI do it and go beyond flood control? Pag ang gobyerno po ang nagpo-procure, bakit times 4, times 5? Yung nakita mo, may 1,000% yung presyo. I really don't understand. Pag tayo bibili, ganito. Pero pag gobyerno, times 4, times 5. So, ibig sabihin, sa nakaraang taon, nung hindi pa natin alam to, ang ating linalagay sa GAA ay nasasayang. So, I just feel frustrated about it. Yeah. So, thank you. Maybe the Ombudsman can answer.
Ano ho yan?
Thank you.
Yan po gagawa na natin ng paraan, ma'am, para Mr. Chairman, na ito mga overpricing ng procurement dapat matigil talaga. Yung baseline, I think transparency is still the issue. Pag ito po nalaman ng tao na tayo bibili ng ballpen na 1,000 piso, tingin ko marami pong magagalit at marami pong magbibid na mas maayos. Tsaka yung ano naman ho, yung procurement law, hindi naman po siya kailangan i-bid out lahat eh. Pwede ho sa sa ano lang pwede hong yung mga small amounts pwede naman hong bilhin na mas mura Hindi naman kinakailangan po na paandarin ng mekanismo kagad sa bidding. Yan po yung mga bagong nakatala sa procurement law na hindi pa ho ginagamit sa ngayon. Dapat po gamitin yan. At babantayan po natin, gagawa po tayo ng paraan para may sumbungan po ang publiko tungkol sa bagay na ito. At kung pwede ho yung mga yung mga notes nyo po sa budget hearings tungkol sa overpricing, ipadala po sa amin sa Office of the Ombudsman para makakilos po kami tungkol dito.
In the process of reviewing the budget, marami kami nakita. Senator Lauren, marami rin nakita. In fact, mga overpriced street lights, overpriced cat's eye, iba-iba yung nakikita kami. Kasi ngayon talagang tinitignan na rin namin pati DICT, yung Starlink. So maraming, hindi naman namin sinasabi merong anomalya, pero definitely mahal na mahal siya. Expensive siya. Expensive. So we'll furnish the Ombudsman some of those notes that we have. No?
Salamat po.
Maraming salamat. So there being no further questions, the budget of the Office of the Ombudsman is now deemed submitted for plenary's consideration. Maraming salamat po.
Salamat.